Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Froch, the former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and remember we're now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. As you can see, I'm still in sunny Spain. I've actually just been down the beach with the kids trying a bit of surfing. I mean, that didn't go that well, to be honest. I was struggling a little bit. It was more bodyboarding than surfing. But anyway, listen, there's not a great deal going off in the boxing world. There's a few announcements, there's a few stories which we'll touch on, but I do want to start with Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I should really say Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, shouldn't I? Because Jake Paul really doesn't deserve to be in the ring with this icon of the sport. But it's happening. They had the press conference the other day, and I just want to let you know my thoughts. So we've just witnessed the press conference between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul at the weekend. It was in New York, and obviously Mike Tyson from Brooklyn, so it was a bit of a pro-Mike Tyson crowd. I think it's always going to be a pro-Mike Tyson crowd, isn't it, when it's professional boxing? I know you've got this idiot, fake Paul, pretending to be a boxer, but let's be honest, he's only ever had one professional boxing match, if you can call it that, and that was against the novice pro, Tommy Fury, and he got beat. He got beat quite easily as well. Some say it was close, but at the end of the day, he struggled badly against Tommy Fury, and he got beat. And that's what's on the paperwork. So that's what you have to look at. You have to look at the level he's at. He's at a low level. He can't call himself a professional boxer, which he continues to try and do. And listen, I don't get wound up about it. I know what he's doing. He's in the business of making money, and he knows how to make money. Fair play to him. But is he taking himself seriously as a professional boxer? Unfortunately, I think he is. And I think it's a fucking disgrace because he's jumping in with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson when he's only 26-year-old himself. And he's like, he's going to try and take some kind of kudos or try and big himself up on the build-up. And then when he gets the win, which he probably will, because let's be honest, Mike Tyson, I think he's just going to be playing his role. In my opinion, Mike Tyson's probably got the script. Because when I saw that press conference the other day, there was like a little bit of a shove by Tyson at the end, like a half-hearted shove. It was like there was like nothing in it. Jake Paul kind of didn't know what to do, was stood there, stern looking, not saying, I don't think he said anything. But it all just looked really contrived. It looked really fake. And Tyson gets a bit giddy and starts jumping around and smiling. He does a stupid little half-hearted push. And, I mean, Jake Paul got booed, but I don't know. It's not even pantomime. It's worse than pantomime because for me, as a professional boxer, retired pro boxer, it's just not enjoyable to watch. And we want to see Jake Paul get flattened, and that's half the appeal, and that's why a lot of people are going to be tuning in, thinking, can an old Mike Tyson rekindle any sort of flame and land one of them big, nasty hooks that he used to throw and render Jake Paul unconscious? But unfortunately, in the real world, that's not going to happen. He's going to be 58 years old when he steps in the ring against a young man. And you can't beat the clock. Father Time waits for nobody. And I just think it's a shame that Mike Tyson's going to get in the ring with this idiot, fake Paul, who's pretending to be a boxer. I've said earlier, I know he's making money, but I still think he believes in himself. I think deep down somewhere in his head, he thinks he's actually good enough to be a pro boxer. There's a reason he never thought about stepping in the ring with me, and there's a reason since losing to Tommy Fury, who, let's be honest, he's a crap boxer, isn't he, Tommy? I don't want to give him too much. I don't want to give Tommy stick, but he's not a pro boxer. But since losing to him, I think he's realised, you know what, oh shit, I better keep fighting comedians. So it's just clown world. What's going on with Jake Paul and Tyson should not be happening. I'm totally against it. I hope Tyson can get in there, throw a few punches, land a few shots, get it with a few steady ones, maybe lose a points decision and not get hurt, but make a few quid. I think he's making between 8 and 12 million, Mike Tyson. So fair play to him for making a bit of money. But the whole thing for me is a shit show, and I still think it shouldn't be happening. So I've just mentioned the money there, somewhere between 8 and 12, 15 million, whatever it is. But this is a guy, Mike Tyson, who made hundreds of millions of dollars in his career, and thoroughly deserved as well. Everybody wanted to see him fight. And I think it's a real shame if he's doing this just for the money, if he needs it. I know Netflix are paying a few quid. I'm not sure what the full deal is, but that's what I've read the other day, them figures. And that's decent money. But when you've made hundreds of millions and you've done what Mike Tyson's done, and you've fought the people he's fought, I mean, it's a real shame if he needs the money. I'm hoping he doesn't. I always think that Mike Tyson's one of them characters, one of them names, the iconic figures that can do anything and always make money. Wherever he goes, whatever he does. He's a pretty good speaker as well, by the way. When I listen to him on podcasts and when you see him do a bit of stand-up stuff, when he's on stage, he does speak well when he's on form. And I just feel saddened that if he's fighting Jake Paul for the money, it's a shame because let's be honest, Jake Paul's 26 years old. He does train quite a lot. He's in the gym a lot. He's trying to train like a professional. He's an athlete and he can punch. He can punch a bit. He's swinging away. What is he, 14 and a half, 15 stone? And he's punching away. And at 58 years old, Mike Tyson doesn't really want to be taking any punches to the head. Not even one punch to the head at 58 years old. That could be detrimental to his health. That could really cause a serious problem. So the issue is, does he need the money? If he does, it's a shame. But I'm sure Mike Tyson can earn money without having to fight this clown. But the main problem I've got is if Mike Tyson gets injured. Imagine Mike Tyson gets seriously hurt or seriously injured in this clown show. It'd be such a shame, and it'd be a real tragedy. I mean, any injury in boxing is a tragedy. But for Mike Tyson to jump in with this idiot and get caught with a couple of consecutive blows and maybe get knocked out by Jake Paul, I keep having to bite my tongue because I just want to write him off and call him a fucking prick. What he is, that's what he is, let's be honest. But I'm biting my tongue. But anyway, that would be the biggest issue for me. Mike Tyson's health. And if something goes wrong, we've all said, I told you so. We've all said this fight shouldn't be happening because of the age difference. But if he needs the money, he needs the money. But again, I repeat, this fight should not be happening. And if Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson doesn't get you pissed off enough, he's now talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez. I mean, come on, for fuck's sake.
We'll see. I'm still on the path to become world champion. There's a lot of shit talkers out there, a lot of big names who want to fight me. I still want Canelo Alvarez, and I want to go on the path to world championship, and that's what I'm here to do, and I will make it happen. And when it happens, people are going to go, God damn, that kid knew something we didn't.
Jake Paul in the same ring, even in the same building as Canelo Alvarez. That shouldn't be happening. He's talking about fighting Alvarez in a professional boxing capacity. I don't know what weight division it'll be, but it don't even matter because Canelo's jumped up to light heavyweight. He's come back down. He's been at super middleweight, but he doesn't belong in the same ring. I mean, if Jake Paul gets in with Canelo, which I very much doubt it, I'm sure this is just clickbait, and he's got me reeled in because I'm fucking talking about him. But Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez, come on, do me a favour. That is probably the worst match anybody could ever make in terms of somebody being tried for Canelo Alvarez would absolutely fucking destroy Jake Paul, no problem at all, because he's not only a top professional, one of the best in the business, he's active, he's still fighting, he's current, he's hungry. Somebody like me who's been retired 10 years, or any professional boxer that's been retired 10 years, would give Jake Paul an absolute thrashing at pretty much any weight division. We've seen what Floyd Mayweather did to Logan Paul. It was just easy. It was a mismatch, and Logan was twice the size of Mayweather, and he made easy work of it. Mayweather did. He made a bit of a show of it, but it was just easy. So Canelo against Jake Paul, it's a fucking insult. He must be on the wind up, and he's got me hook, line, and sinker here because I'm talking about him like I've just said. But that fight, I don't think will happen, and it's an absolute fucking insult. Jake Paul, wash your fucking mouth out. Don't mention his name again in the boxing capacity because you're not qualified. So anyway, let's move on to some real boxing. Shout out to Mike Tyson. He'll always be a legend in the game. But there's a big fight card in Saudi Arabia. Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, topping the bill on what looks to be a great undercard, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. But these two guys, Beterbiev, I mean, unbeaten in 20 fights, 20 by way of the big sleep. Sent 20 opponents to button moon, knocked out all of his opponents. Bivol, 23 wins out of 23 fights. He's also unbeaten. The knockout ratio in it is impressive, but look at the quality of him. He beat Canelo Alvarez. He's got some good names on his record. These two guys, this is probably the best fight to happen in world boxing in a long time. This is a great matchup, one I'm really, really looking forward to. It was delayed slightly because Beterbiev, I mean, he's pushing 40. I think he's 39 as I'm speaking, but he's close to 40, and he pulled out of an injury. So this fight's been delayed, but I'm really, really looking forward to this fight. Top of the bill in Saudi Arabia. This fight couldn't be any bigger or any better. I'm not going to pick a winner yet. I'll give you a pre-fight prediction before the fight, but yeah, one I'm really excited about. So that's my thoughts on Beterbiev Bivol. Great fight, but let's have a look at the undercard. So what's probably going to be the chief support is Stevenson, Joe Cordina. Then we've got Eubank Jr against Camille Jameta. Fabio Wardley in a rematch against Frazer Clarke. Opetaia against Jack Massey. Ben Whittaker against Liam Cameron. And Skye Nicolson against Raven Chapman. We've also got Mohamed Aleko against Jesus Gonzalez. Right, so I want to look at some of the stories, some of the fights on the undercard that stand out for me. You've got Skye Nicolson against Raven Chapman. Now that stands out because obviously it's an all-female affair. I mean, this is two women fighting in Saudi Arabia, which has raised a few eyebrows because people have said, where's the women's boxing in Saudi? You know, boxing, professional boxing is big now for the ladies. I mean, it's great to watch. We've seen Katie Taylor, we've seen some great fights. Savannah Marshall. We've been enjoying the women's boxing. And now we've got one in Saudi Arabia, so it's good. I'm glad that it's out there. I can remember when Eddie Hearn signed Skye Nicolson. He was really, really pleased with that signing. So it's an all-female fight out in Saudi Arabia. It's about time as well. It's a thumbs up from the Cobra. Skye Nicolson and Raven Chapman. Let's go. So it's going to be exciting and interesting to see how the Saudi crowd actually respond to Ben Whittaker. He's a showman. He puts his shots together a little bit Nassim Hamed-esque. He's in against Liam Cameron. Sorry, Liam, but it's a total mismatch. Ben Whittaker is a massive favourite for that one. And you've also got Jaya Opetaia, and he's fighting Jack Massey, and that's probably another mismatch, but that's no disrespect to Jack Massey because Opetaia is a proper solid fighter. I mean, what a monster he is at cruiserweight. Probably, for me, I mean, he's Ring Magazine champion, so he is officially the best cruiserweight in the world at the moment. And I think he's going to have one eye on stepping up to heavyweight because he's an awkward southpaw, similar to what Usyk did. You know, top fighter, strong, and he's a southpaw, so he'll be looking to probably step up to heavyweight at some point, and he's good enough to step up. He's a southpaw, he's a banger, he's a top fighter. We've got Chris Billam-Smith actually at cruiserweight in Britain. He'll probably end up staying away from him, but that's a great fight. Shout out to Chris Billam-Smith. If he can jump in with him and have a good fight with him, then fair play. But at the minute, Opetaia will probably be finishing clean up at cruiserweight before he steps up to heavyweight, in my opinion. So also on the card is Fabio Wardley, Frazer Clarke. They had a fight back in March, and that was a real humdinger. That was a British title defence for Fabio Wardley. Frazer Clarke really did do himself proud. I thought on the night he nicked it. Everyone's gone scoring subjective, but I thought that Frazer Clarke did the job. But this is a rematch. They're running it back, and they're running it back in Saudi. Now, I don't just want to criticise for the sake of criticising, but that first one was at the O2 in London. The atmosphere was electric. That was an edge-of-your-seat fight all the way through. I was watching it from home and I was out my seat a few times. And this one now is in Saudi Arabia. And I do think for the British heavyweight title, I think a rematch in Britain, that's where it should be for me. That's where my heart is. That's where the boxing, these big fights in Britain should be. For a British title, for me, it should be in Britain. But anyway, that's a big fight on the undercard. I'm really looking forward to that one. And I can't really pick a winner, but I'm leaning to what, I mean, it's going to be a great fight. The first one was really close. It was a great fight. Fair play to both guys. I like them. I'm leaning towards Frazer Clarke. Maybe that's because I spent a lot of time with him at the EAS in Sheffield, the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield, where I finished off my later part of my career under Robert McCracken. And that might be why, because it's in my heart. But this is going to be a close fight, and I think it's going to be down to who puts the hard work in before. But it's a great fight. I'm really looking forward to it. So Chris Eubank Jr. is also on the undercard. He's not fought in, he's probably going to be getting on for a year. He's not busy enough. He's 34 years old. Let's not forget he got battered in the first fight against Liam Smith. He won the rematch. Liam Smith didn't really turn up, but Chris Eubank won the rematch. But he's also lost to George Groves. He lost to Billy Joe Saunders. But he's not active. At 34 years old, if he's fighting once a year, it's not good enough. Chris Eubank Jr. is a bit of a celebrity fighter, and he just wants to make the money, and that's all he wants to do. I don't think he's got any ambitions of being a world champion. I think he realised a long time ago that he found his level, and now he just plays at it. But he's back in the ring after a year. He's exciting to watch because it's Chris Eubank Jr. Actually, people want to see him against Conor Benn. Conor Benn's got quiet. You can't just give him stick. He's on the undercard. He's out in Saudi, probably getting paid well. But he's talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez, so there shows you. I mean, he's got no chance, absolutely no chance at all in beating Canelo Alvarez, but he'll probably get paid good money. But there's somebody on the undercard who's interesting to watch, so I'll be looking forward to it. I mean, I've spent a lot of time. I'm not a Chris Eubank Jr. hater by any means. I'm friends with him. I'm just honest, as you know, here on Froch on Fighting. I've sparred many rounds. He helped me a lot in my career, especially for my last fight with George Groves, because I did most of my sparring with Chris Eubank Jr. He's tough, he's strong, he can take a punch. For me, he's not a massive puncher. He's not a super middleweight, he's a middleweight, but he's not serious about professional boxing. Otherwise, he'd be a lot busier and would see and hear a lot more of him. He's 34 years old now, so he's looking for one big payday, I think, before he hangs his gloves up, which is a shame, really, because he's not a bad talent, and I think he could have done more, but Yeah, it is what it is. And the next biggest fight on the card is probably Shakur Stevenson against Joe Cordina. I know Joe Cordina really well because I used to train with Tony Sims, his corner man. He was in my corner actually doing cuts and that. I've known him for years, and all the best to Joe Cordina. He lost last time out in Saudi, got knocked out and stopped for the first time in his career, lost his IBF title. He's stepping up a weight division against Shakur Stevenson. And if you've not seen or heard about Shakur Stevenson, get a look at him. This guy's phenomenal. He's been touted as like a sort of Gervonta Davis type of fighter. They love him that much. He's that highly regarded, and he's just, for me, he's super fast. He's got that speed. He's almost got the speed that's like he's cheating, like he's in the Matrix, and he's so fast you can't get near him. He's not got a massive knockout ratio. I think he's knocked out about 10 or 12 of his 20-odd wins, but he's so talented, so fast. This is a really, really big ask for Joe Cordina. I wish him all the best, but I just feel like he's stepping up a weight division, and he's jumping in there, and this is just too much too soon in a new weight division for Joe Cordina. I'm not saying he can't do it, and I hope he does do the business, but this is a great fight, and another one that I'm really looking forward to, but it's a really, really fucking tough ask for Cordina. But good luck, mate. Right, so that's about it for now. Listen, for the audio listeners on Spotify, you won't be able to see that I'm actually sat down. And the reason I'm sat down is because I went head-to-head with a shadow in his gym. He's absolutely smashed my legs. Thanks to you lot for saying legs. I've done seated leg press onto the hack squat. That was after leg extensions, which I shouldn't do because I've had my ACL reconstructed. And then we did some calf raises, but he's absolutely murdered me and my legs are killing. It's 48 hours now it is, post-session. My glutes and my quads are absolutely on fire. But yeah, so thanks for picking legs. But I've gone head-to-head with Dorian Yates, the Shadow. I enjoyed it, and the footage will be dropping soon. In other news as well, Michael Bisping, fucking legend, is coming on Froch on Fighting. We've been talking, we've been back and forth. He's out in California, so he's on Cali time. But it won't be long before you get me and Bisping head-to-head on Froch on Fighting, so look out for that one. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything, and we'll see you next time.